Welcome to the Gay Buddhist Forum, where teachers from all schools of Buddhism offer their perspectives on the Dharma and its application in modern times, especially for LGBTQI audiences. These talks are offered freely to the world and made possible by appreciative listeners. If you would like to support our efforts to share the Dharma with underserved audiences, please visit gaybuddhist.org. There you can donate, find a list of upcoming speakers, or enjoy many hundreds of these recorded talks dating back to 1996.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome to the Gay Buddhist Fellowship. Today our teacher is, let me find the intro here. So Bill Weber is a senior Vipassana practitioner and a graduate from Spirit Rock's Community Dharma Leaders Program. He has 25 years of extensive retreat practice and currently practices at home with his husband or sits with a small group of gay men. He is also a documentary filmmaker and video editor whose latest projects are Be Takei, and The Untold Tales of Armistead, Maupin.
Good morning, everybody. It's really nice to be back here. I was really happy that we were meeting in person again, and also on Zoom, but just for me, it was, I've done a couple of these talks on Zoom, and I feel more connected if I am in the presence of other people, so I really appreciate that. I should update I've been talking to this group for a long time, and I should update my resume with it or whatever. It's getting a little old, but because actually I'm sort of retiring now, so I'm not working on much presently, and I'm not saying I'm not going to work on things anymore, but I don't have things in the pipeline. And the last film that I helped some friends finish is coming out this summer, and it's on Leonard Cohen and the song Hallelujah. And I hope you all get a chance to see it, because it's really a beautiful film, and it's about a man's spiritual journey. It's about Leonard's spiritual journey and the 6 or 7 years he took to write Hallelujah in the course of that song, and how it's touched people, and how it's been one of the most used songs at both weddings and funerals. One of those sort of rare things, and it touches people so much they invite it for all these different things. Trump used it at the end of the Republican National Convention, and Biden used it to honor 400,000 dead of COVID. I mean, that song has that sort of breath to it. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I actually want to talk about the breath, about the simplicity of the breath, and I want to do it through the lens of Thich Nhat Hanh. And I want to start by all of us just taking a few moments and closing our eyes and following our breath. So if everybody could just sit, relax. Just feel your presence on the chair. And notice the breath. Notice your breathing. If you're new on this, you might notice your breath in different places. You can notice it coming in through your nostrils, the feeling of it against your nose, or through your mouth and your lips. And you can notice the breath in the rising and falling of the chest or the abdomen. You might also notice the breath is the whole body breathing. The intake of air just filling the body. and the release of the breath, the falling of the abdomen, of the chest, the air leaving through the lips or the nose. Some words of Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I notice my in-breath has become deeper. Breathing out, I notice my out-breath has become slower. Breathing in, I calm myself. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I feel it's a wonderful moment. Okay, you may open your eyes again, and I hope that was helpful or useful, but the simplicity of the breath is something I really like, and the power of the breath to bring me back into the present moment is something I really appreciate. And the teachings of the breath and breath meditation is central to the Buddhist practice. There was a sutta, the Anapanasati Sutta, which is sort of the foundation of much of the teachings of the Buddha. It's taught in all the schools of the Buddha, and it's the teaching of the mindfulness of breath. The text of the teaching is something that Thich Nhat Hanh used in with that poem that I just read. The text is more of breathing in, he discerns, I am breathing in long. Or breathing out, he discerns, I am breathing out long. This is a translation of the Buddha's teaching of it. I like the way Thich Nhat Hanh personalizes it and also makes it friendly or also inviting, and also he brings in joy and smiling and pleasantness into it that I find can help me connect with my breath. When I was asked if I would like to speak here again, I was given a couple of dates as options to speak, and I chose this one because it's the day before Valentine's Day, and one thing that's been really central to me for a while is the qualities of the heart. It's where I think everything resides right now. I mean, it's one of the more powerful places for me to pay attention to. But what I found as the date got closer is I like to talk about things that I want to invite into my own life and to really make more central, and also things that I feel like I'm in need of right now. And one thing I really felt like I was in need of is paying attention, being in the present moment, being awake, and doing it in a way that is simple and that I can do in the midst of all this other crap that's going on in my life and I think for a lot of us in the world right now. The simplicity of the breath. The breath is always with us. We can come back to it at any moment. In any situation, we can just come back. Oh, I'm breathing. I'm here. I'm present. Why is it important to be here? Is sort of a question I ask sometimes, because it can be very comfortable to be lost. And to avoid things. But that's not where I want to live. If one thing that happened to me recently, in January was a bit of a tough month for me. I got a call. Well, first off, I was starting to feel a little bit sick. And then I got a call from somebody helping my mother in Kansas saying, you should come home. She's going. And so I had an at-home COVID test, and I took that. And it was one of those 10-minute tests, and it took about 10 seconds to come back positive. So it was like, okay, I can't get on a plane, I can't go home, I can't see my mother. My mother passed away about 3 days later, and I was sick with COVID for about 10 days and feeling really, really pretty shitty. What this brought up for me was, again, how precious this life is. How precious and how beautiful, but how fleeting it is. I had talked to my mom like 2 days before I got that call, and she was in really good spirits. She was laughing, she was joking. She was 94 years old. She was mentally very present, but physically she was a mess. And it was time for her to go. And I'm glad she went as quickly as she did and as peacefully as she did. But I also just realized that all these things that I hold dear in life, at some point they all just go away. Like my mother. But my mother also had, she had downsized and downsized and downsized into like one small room in a nursing home, but she still had these things that were important to her. And then I talked to my sister, and all that stuff's just being thrown away, most of it. So this life is precious. How can I be present for it and engage in it and really appreciate it and not just be lost in thoughts of the past and not just be worrying about the future and not just having my mind race around like it does all the time. I want to be here. I want to sense people. I want to enjoy the flowering trees that are going on outside right now on this beautiful spring day. I want to be here for it all. And it's going quickly. I've lived in my house in Castro now for 33 years, I realize. And one thing that's really nice about living in one place, I realize, is that I can really watch life go by. I've known people to be born, go to school, get married, have kids, pass away, just in my neighborhood. And you see how life goes on. And it's like, okay, I'm going to be 69 in a month or two, and it's like I don't have a whole lot longer, and I want to be present for it. So what can I do? What practices can I bring in that help me come back into this moment and to really appreciate it? So the simplicity of the breath, which is always there. One nice thing about talking about this is that as I start to get lost, I can just come back and, I'm breathing again. I'm here. The other challenges that I think we're facing these days are substantial. We've all gone through COVID. We've all gone through the isolation of it. And that has a huge impact, I believe. For some of us, it might have been a time to really get some things done or to practice more or whatever. But even if it hasn't impacted you directly, the people around you it has. And I hear this from everybody. It's worn on us. On top of that, we have a country our country's facing fascism in a way that I never thought was possible. Climate change is showing itself like I never thought was possible and really fast. And I'm going through my own process of aging and deteriorating and falling away. I have to be careful with my mask if my hearing aids don't fall out. And, it's just like there's that process going on. And I just had some things cut off my head that came back cancer. So I'm going to have to go back in and have more things dug out of my head. So I'm going through my own aging process in the midst of all this. So life is challenging. Life isn't a breeze. So I want to, again, come back into the moment where I can appreciate what's going on. What makes that difficult right now is this world of distractions we live in, that I live in and that we all live in. When the Buddha was giving his teachings, he set up a system where people could isolate and limit their distractions. you go on retreat, or you become a monk, and you go into a monastery, and you really limit all the input that comes into your being at some point. Even to the point where some of the foundation of men being separated from women was to do away with the distraction of sexuality, which doesn't work so well for us as gay men. When I used to go on a retreat, I always used to hope that it would just be mainly women, because I didn't want to be distracted so much by good-looking men. And I remember the last retreat I went on, there was a guy sitting in front of me who was just gorgeous. And he would come in late every day, and I would just sort of watch his butt go down on the cushion. It was very distracting. But so anyway, so the Buddha sort of set it up so that we limit that, and we don't live in that world right now by any stretch of the imagination. When most of us were kids, what did we had? 2 television stations? Now we got 300 or something. When we were kids, there wasn't the internet. Now the internet is endless amounts of distraction. I mean, I can go on sometimes and look up something on YouTube and then find myself 2 hours later, I've gone through 30 YouTube videos and like, where the hell did that come from? When I was a young kid, I remember going to a bookstore in Kansas City, and in the back, I was probably about 12 years old, they had some male nudist magazines, and I got really sort of attached to pornography. And nowadays, and I remember you used to really have to search out porn back then. I mean, I'm talking about when I was a kid, and this is back in the mid-'60s, late 60s, early 70s. And now it's like I could watch porn for the rest of my life, continuously, without stop. And there's just so much of it out there. I mean, the distractions, unfathomable how many there are right now. And the worst of them is this. I don't think I can really hardly go any place without seeing people on their phones, or also if there's a moment of stillness, it's like, let me check what's going on my phone. So, how do we come back into the present moment? How do we come back and say, okay, I'm not racing over here or being lost over here. I'm just here. I'm just now. I'm just with this breath. I'm here to experience this person across from me. I'm here to appreciate this day. As Thich Nhat Hanh taught with the breath, it's in, out, deep, slow, paying attention to the quality, calm, ease, bringing some relaxation into it, smile, release, bringing a sense of joy, of happiness. Present moment, wonderful moment. Changing our outlook even a bit on what is this moment, even in a difficult time. It's a moment of aliveness. It's a moment of being embodied and alive. When I first encountered Thich Nhat Hanh, when I first started hearing his teachings, I actually thought he was a little too simple for me. When I was a younger person and studying Buddhism, I sort of liked the strict teachings and the discipline of somebody like U Pandita or whatever. And I remember hearing a teaching of Thich Nhat Hanh when he was talking about the possibilities of paying attention, of waking up in any moment. He was saying, if you hear a telephone ring, use that as an opportunity to say, okay, I'm here, I'm present, I'm hearing the phone ring. And I thought, well, that's pretty simple. There was something sort of Mr. Rogers about it. But that's the beauty of it, the simplicity of it, and just the call that we have all these opportunities to wake up. So I've really grown to appreciate him and that simplicity more as I practiced more and gotten older. And Thich Nhat Hanh had pretty amazing, life, 94-year-old life. I think he passed away a few months ago, I believe it was. But they call him the father of engaged Buddhism, that he was really sort of one of the first to be a proponent of that you take your Buddhism out into the world and you engage people in it. He was a great poet. He taught nonviolence. He taught Martin Luther King nonviolence. He got a Fulbright scholarship. He studied at Princeton, taught at Cornell and Columbia. He also incorporated women at a time in practices in Buddhism, which a lot of other teachers weren't so much. He started a group in Vietnam in the early years of the war called the Order of Interbeing, which was made up of men and women. And one of the women nuns was the woman who lit herself on fire in protest to the Vietnam War, I think back in like 1965 or 64. So he had a huge influence on teaching and training nonviolence, and really had a great impact on the world. And here's a book he wrote called Breathe, You Are Alive. And this is some of his opening thoughts on the practice of mindfulness of breath. In the Sutra on the Full Awareness of Breathing, also known as the Anapanasati Sutta, the Buddha shows us how to transform our fear, despair, anger, and craving. I was so happy the day I discovered this sutra. I thought I discovered the greatest treasure in the world. Before, I'd been content to simply gain knowledge. I didn't know how to enjoy the present moment, how to look deeply into my life, and how to enjoy the positive conditions that were all around me. This sutra is so basic and so wonderful. There are so many great sutras, but approaching them without this sutra, the Sutra of Mindfulness of Breathing, is like trying to reach the top of a mountain without a path to go on. Breathing is a means of awakening and maintaining full attention in order to look carefully, long, and deeply, see the nature of all things, and arrive at liberation. The Sutra on the Full Awareness of Breathing is the Buddha's way to help us to remember to breathe and to enjoy our breath. When you breathe in slowly, mindfully, you can enjoy your in-breath. Just breathing can make you very happy. And allow yourself to be happy while breathing. Something that helps me connect with my breath sometimes is just the appreciation of what breath is, and that breath is life. When we were born, we come out, they spank us or, tap us, and we start breathing. I've been around a few people when they take their last breath, and you're gone. Breath is life. I was reading we breathe about 22,000 times a day. By the time we're 50, we have breathed 400 million breaths. It's central to us. And it's, as long as we're here and sitting and talking and moving and stuff, it's going on. So it's always available to us just to come back to it at any given moment. It also connects us with the world around us. What we're breathing in is oxygen from the outside world. So the air in this room is sustaining us. To appreciate that, to allow that to come in. And the out-breath, we're releasing carbon dioxide. We're releasing things we don't need. So there's a very healthy aliveness of the whole process of what our breath is. In, out. Deep, slow. Calm, ease. Smile, release. Present moment, wonderful moment. I want to add something else on that was very central to what Thich Nhat Hanh taught. That is another practice that we all have available to us at any time to bring us back into the present moment, to bring us back into the aliveness of the body, and that's walking. So I want to talk just a little bit about walking before I open this up for questions too. And walking meditation. In 1995, Thich Nhat Hanh spoke at Spirit Rock, and I was a new student of Buddhism, and I was lucky enough to go up there, but there was 2,200 people up there. It was probably one of the biggest crowds Spirit Rock has ever had, and they had it outside on this hillside. And I remember Thich Nhat Hanh and the nuns speaking for the day, and they did a walking meditation, and walking meditation was central to Thich Nhat Hanh's practices. But he would get up, and it was about like this. And you were supposed to walk in a line and follow the person in front of you. Well, with 2,200 people, I think maybe 300 people got a couple of steps in. So most of us were just standing around. But it didn't really matter so much because part of it was, there was the walking meditation, but the walking meditation is feeling the sensations of the feet. Feeling the feet touch the earth. Feeling the earth underneath us. And you don't even really have to take steps to do that. And you can even experience a type of walking meditation sitting here in this room with just your feet on the ground. The way Thich Nhat Hanh describes it is that every step should be a kiss to Mother Earth. It's a profound and pleasurable way to deepen our connection with our body and with the earth. I love that. Each step is a kiss on the earth. Since I've been preparing for this talk, I like the fact that that's come up for me as I'm out during the day sometimes. I'm just walking around someplace and I can just sort of come back into that. Oh, I am touching the earth. I can feel the earth underneath me. And it's almost, I'm giving a blessing to the earth, and the earth is giving a blessing to me. In the way Thich Nhat Hanh describes it, with each step, the earth heals us. With each step, we heal the earth. At some point, we are the earth and the earth is us. And to sort of sink into that as we're walking around. Again, like the breath, this is something that we can practice no matter where we are, at any point in our day. Just the chance to this step, and then this step, and then this step, and then to feel the sensations of the foot, the hardness of the ground, the vibrations that come up the leg, whatever it is, the aliveness of the body, the gift of having these legs that can move us around from here out the door or whatever. We can connect with all of that just with a simple act of walking. This is Thich Nhat Hanh's poem on walking meditation. Take my hand. We will walk. We will only walk. We will enjoy our walk without thinking of arriving anywhere. Walk peacefully. Walk happily. Our walk is a peace walk. Our walk is a happiness walk. Then we learn that there is no peace walk, that peace is the walk. There is no happiness walk, that happiness is the walk. We walk for ourselves, we walk for everyone, always hand in hand. Walk and touch peace every moment. Walk and touch happiness every moment. Each step brings a fresh breeze. Each step makes a flower bloom under our feet. Kiss the earth with your feet. Print on earth your love and happiness. Earth will be safe when we feel in us enough safety. Every step should be a kiss to Mother Earth. Again, as he does with his breath meditation, he brings in this connection, this joy, this happiness, but also at the essence of it, it all falls away after a while. The walk becomes peace. Peace becomes the walk. We become the walk. The walk becomes us. The lines that divide us and separate us dissolve. And he also says, we walk hand in hand. Again, to feel that connectedness that we all share with the air, with the ground. So I'm going to open it up in a minute for questions, but I just want to emphasize again, and I can speak very personally on this, in this world where I find myself very distracted most of the time and very overwhelmed by the issues that I face, and I realize the issues I face can be very minor to the issues that others and a majority of the planet face. The challenges of the times we live in, what can we do to both reinvigorate some joy and happiness in our lives and to connect us with ourselves, with this body, with this life, with our community. We've all been gifted with the Dharma. But one of the beautiful aspects of it that I'm bringing in from Thich Nhat Hanh and with his teachings is that the simple act of breathing and walking can be a way for us to awaken any moment and to help reinvigorate the joy. To help us, again, feel the connection. So if you find yourself during the week or the day or whatever, when you're getting distracted or you're feeling despair or anger or fear or whatever, notice a breath. Just, I'm breathing. In breath, out breath. Deep, slow. This moment, wonderful, joyous moment. And let me close with some of his poems on breathing again. Let the Buddha breathe. Let the Buddha walk. I don't have to breathe. I don't have to walk. The Buddha is breathing. The Buddha is walking. I enjoy the breathing. I enjoy the walking. Buddha is the breathing. Buddha is the walking. I am the breathing. I am the walking. There is only the breathing. There is only the walking. There is no breather. There is no walker. Peace while breathing. Peace while walking. Peace is the breathing. Peace is the walking. Thank you all. We have some time for questions or comments or observations or breathing. Please.
Thank you very much for celebrating Thich Nhat Hanh. Tearing up as I am. I had the privilege of meeting him and monks and nuns at Plum Village, from Plum Village,
Wow.
in Deer Park Monastery in Escondido twice in past years. And my first Sangha that I belonged to before GVF was Q Sangha, led by Chi Sing, Norman Aim from Plano, Texas, who's sadly deceased as well. And he encouraged us to go and meet our teacher while he was still in his bodies.
Right.
And so I took it to heart and went to Deer Park twice with two friends. And one of them recently, who lives up in Grass Valley, let me know that he had passed. And a flood of memories from my time there. I spent a whole week at Deer Park, both times, with lots of people like we did at Spirit Rock. The place was just covered with people, and just being with him and the peacefulness and celebrating the moment. I am here, I am home. There's little signs at the monastery on the way up the road to get there, and coyotes howling at night, and wildflowers and different things. So you're bringing him up evoked all those wonderful memories of my time there and my time here with Ji Sing and Q Sangha and Green Gulch Farm and all those things. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. I felt his peace with you talking. There's something I could feel it. It's beautiful. Yeah. And in preparing for this talk, I want to understand Thich Nhat Hanh better, and I want to soak in his presence more. Which, like I said, I didn't so much in the beginning, but it's beautiful. Yeah. So thank you, and lucky you.
Yes,
Fortunate one.
Very fortunate. And
Very fortunate.
Not just him, but him, yes, because he is with all the monks and nuns, but just being around all the monks and nuns, sometimes individually and sometimes in groups during the course of those experiences, they all sort of had the same presence.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Wasn't one of his main nuns Sister True Emptiness? Yeah, because I remember her speaking at Spirit Rock, and just thinking, what a beautiful name. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought you evoked Spirit or Thich Nhat Hanh's presence. Really, I was tearing up when you talked. And I was there at that gathering in 1995 at Spirit Rock. And one thing I remember is just that he was the message. The medium was the message.
Right.
And he was amazing. I didn't get into 300 people who took a step with him, but two quotes I think of very often, and one is, I think over the course of 2,500 years in Buddhism we found that happiness is available. Help yourself. And the other one has to do with the boat people, that story.
With the what?
The boat people when they're,
Right. Right.
leaving Vietnam, and he said all it takes is one person on that boat to
Right.
remain calm,
Right.
and not to sink.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was doing amazing work. I was reading in Vietnam about really trying to end the war before it really got going. He was trying to bring all the people together and teach nonviolence and peace to the. It was, yeah. But no, thank you. But it's just, I'm getting the feeling of his teachings just in invoking his name in a way. And when you were speaking, I was just feeling it. It's just the presence, but a calm and soothing and peaceful presence that is I certainly want to invite into my life right now. Yeah.
I was able to watch some of his last viewing, and then when we carried her to
remember I remember one of his teachings was when he would wake up in the morning, he would say another 24 hours to breathe and smell and experience and see and touch and
Right. Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. What a way to live.
Simply put, beautiful.
Yeah. And it's a gift to ourselves, but the other thing that he talks about a lot, it's a gift to everybody else. It's not just for ourselves, you know. I often think that that people would practice Buddhism if they were very selfish, because the gifts it gives us personally are unfathomable. Any other comments or questions, or please?
Yeah, I do too. I have one, Bill. Wonderful to see you again, and I'm sorry about your mom. And she did a great thing by raising you so well.
This sounds like Jim.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for a wonderful talk, and don't retire from teaching, please. Oh, one other thing about the Leonard Cohen thing. The first symphony, in July 30th, there was a young cellist who played not a very good concerto, but he came out for his encore, and he accompanied himself to singing Hallelujah. And the entire audience was weeping into their masks, and then at the last moment, he invited everyone very eloquently to join in and singing the chorus. So the whole symphony hall sang the Hallelujah through their masks. It was unforgettable.
Yeah.
Just wanted to share that.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, I want to say I appreciate the reminder of how many distractions there are in the world. Just in our lifetime, like your examples of the television stations and internet, and I mean, even this tech stuff that's just going on now, I see these as distractions in my life. And the reminder that it's really very simple to come back to the present moment if I can just remember and live.
Right.
And it's a great antidote to all those distractions for me. You know, just breathing, walking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, when I was thinking back about the last 2 years of COVID, I was thinking of all the TV series I watched, and they were like endless. I mean, I'm talking like 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, and it goes on and on and on. But yeah, and then again, the teaching that I thought was too simple when I first heard from Thich Nhat Hanh about when the phone rings, just to pay attention. It's a wake-up call. It's like a bell ringing. Any of these things that can just sort of bring us back into the present moment is really helpful, I think. So, and walking on the earth and breathing is basic as they come.
Yeah, thank you again for bringing Thich Nhat Hanh. It was a real privilege to be able to sit in virtually with all the ceremonies that week and his funeral.
Wow.
But the word that always kept on coming up was, with the ceremonies, was the continuation of Thich Nhat Hanh. The word continuation came up a lot, and I think we've experienced it among many in this room today.
Right.
His death happened the day before this year's A Year to Live workshop through Spirit Rock,
Right.
Based on Stephen Levine's book. And I took it last year, and then this year they decided for the first time they asked people to volunteer as hosts for the smaller home groups. So I volunteered, and we just had our first home group meeting yesterday. So I'm taking the workshop all over again for another year, and I was thinking, how do I get deeper into this process of looking at life and death? And because you're given a prognosis of 12 months, and for me, even this year, this time around, it's still quite academic. I know that if I was given a prognosis, I'd be experiencing much stronger emotions than I do at this point. But what I've been doing is just being present as often as I can during the day. I just celebrated a birthday last Wednesday, and I have a plum tree, had a plum tree planted in front of my house because the flowering plums bloom in San Francisco around my birthday.
Right.
And this year, I've never seen it in such full bloom.
Right.
And I allowed myself, looking at it, admiring it, to say, what if this is the last time that I get to experience the tree? Right. And so I've just been doing that with this wonderful spring-like weather, just taking a moment and savoring the feel of the sun on my face and all of that. So thank you. It's very, what you were talking about has been very much on my mind as far as how do you embody peace when there's all this stuff happening around.
Right. Thank you. And happy birthday. Yeah. Takanahan wrote some beautiful poems about death too that I wish I had it or knew him with me, but he didn't. He's not dead. He's still here. So,
Tom online has a question.
Hi, Bill. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I really appreciate that opening breath meditation that you led us in, and of course, it connects directly with what what Thich Nhat Hanh wrote. But it occurs to me it's something I can use with my mother. She's 90 years old. She has Alzheimer's. She can't speak anymore. But when I sit with her, she can follow simple instructions. Like lift this to your mouth, eat this, drink this, whatever. And so I'm going to use that with her because there are times when, like I said, she can't speak, but I can see she's a little distressed. Her brow is furrowed. I have no clue what's going on. But I think this will be a great remedy.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. It's nice to see you, and that's beautiful. Just breathing with her can be a powerful practice. And for you to breathe in peace and to breathe out ease, it could just, could really be wonderful. So thank you. And good luck with your mom. And your mom is, I know you've been dealing with your mom for a long time, and your mom is really lucky to have you.
This is Paul. Was this Bob Lair who spoke right before? He was talking about his terminal illness? Who was that?
That was Tom.
Tom?
He was talking about his mom.
Oh. Okay, thank you. Good to see you, Bill. It's been such a long time.
It's good to see you. Yeah. We go back. A lot of us go back a long ways here now. Back to the 50s.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap up soon. Any other final questions, comments? All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you.
And at this point, we ask for announcements. And do we have a host here today?
Yes, I'm the host.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Devin. So please stay and enjoy the company of Sangha after. And there are refreshments and hot water for tea. If you use a cup, please wash it. Actually, you can just put it in the dishwasher. And I'll be going around with the Dharma bowl to accept contributions to cover our expenses. Your generosity is appreciated. Donations in the range of $10 to $20 help the Sangha meet its expenses. These include honorarium for our Dharma speakers, rent for the members go out to lunch after the meeting. Everyone is welcome to join them. The group meets at the front door around 12:30 p.m.
All right, any other announcements? Next week is open discussion, so we'll have open discussion, well, small groups in the room, and we'll do breakout rooms on Zoom. And Bill, do you have a dedication of merit that you like to use, or would you like to use ours?
I use my own, please.
Okay. All right. Digital distractions.
May whatever merit we have gathered today with our good intentions, our sense of community, our love of the Dharma, whatever good graces we've gathered with, whatever merit we've gathered with this, may we share it with others. May we share it with all we come in contact with our family, our friends. May we share it with all the life around us. May we be free. May we be happy. And may we be at peace. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Gay Buddhist Forum. If you would like to hear several new talks per month and be notified of upcoming speakers so you can participate live, please subscribe to this podcast, like us on Facebook, and join our mailing list by visiting gaybuddhist.org.